Greetings, fellow disaster preppers. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers' Brutal Vulcan. Episode 14, Adding Storm Protection for our solar panels. Before I continue with this project, these extra frames were just like to fix the whole like stuff's floating. I'm obviously going to need more frames to make it look right eventually, but eventually I want things not floating. This is purely aesthetics. Like, the game does not care. Oh, torches out of, fuel. Okie dokie. Well, that's fine. We could either make a tool printer or a fuel can. But, that isn't strictly needed for the task I'm working on, so it doesn't really matter. So the next part of the project is... Oh, actually, no, that does matter. If I'm trying to... so I'll just make a fuel can. If I'm trying to, what's it called? Weld up the frames to make them airtight, I'm gonna need fuel. So, to that end, fuel is here. Off my gas mixer. Oh, that's a network analyzer. I keep doing that. So fuel will be here. The reason why I wanted to temper control my my oxygen and my hydrogen, which currently they're not, I realize. But the reason why I wanted to temperature control them is so that when I'm doing fuel mixing for making fuels, they would mix correctly. So I need to cool down my hydrogen so it's the same temperature as my oxygen. And then I'll mix up a fuel. So the current priority right now is to make fuel for the welder and wall and windows. So the windows are reference for the solar panels. So I have 5 kit walls, and a kit wall of window type requires the kit, and then the next stage is an iron sheet, and then glass. The steel ones require the kit, 2 plastic sheets, and glass. And iron is just easier to source than plastic, so that's why I wanted to use the iron walls, because I don't really care about the pressure and temperature advantage of the steel ones, because like it's not a big deal to me. All right, another thing is I need a util for gas. So I can fill my welder. And then probably a pressure regulator as well. And at least another pipe. Which means steel. Because insulated. So the gas tank storage for welder fuel, I'll just put on the wall here. And at some point, I'm almost certain to transfer over to an arc welder instead. Because the gas welder outgasses stuff that I don't want to breathe in and is harmful to plants and my own lungs when I use it, you know, in the base. So, eventually we'll upgrade, but that's just not within the scope of my current project. So, that's why I'm doing this. Plus, I'm going to want a fuel filler anyway. So, pressure regulator, gold and copper. And that's because if I ever want to get an advanced furnace running, the easiest way by far is going to be a canister fuel-fed advanced furnace, because there's no ices available on this planet. So, I can't have an ice-fed furnace. can never tell if it's backwards or not. Well, whatever. I'll get the insulated pipes first. Hydration's about to be critical. Noted. Oh, god damn it. I really can't tell. Oh my god! What are the chances? There we go. Alright, that needs to get plugged in. And then, we can gas mix. Fuel mix. Once the hydrogen and the oxygen are the same temperature. Unless I want to do some math. Which, you know, I don't want to do math. I'm doing enough math. So, the temps of this is 68, 60. So, I think if I put them both with one radiator, or make more radiators, eventually we'll have the whole base on a heat exchanger, so that everything will be in the same temperature, and I don't have to worry about this, but there we go. So now we have a way to refill our fuel. But before I die of dehydration, I do think it's time to drink. In real life, too. Mmm, 2% of potato. Air tank, waste tank looks good. Might as well just swap the waste. Aux looks good. Batteries look good. Filters look bad. At some point I'll, like, bother to make medium filters, but for now, lights are fine. They're cheap enough. Not a big deal. Speaking of filters, 14%. I think I have just enough iron for one more filter. My oxygen filters are going to get worn out more than any other filter because the oxygen filter is constantly passively filtering oxygen off of the farm. So it's getting slammed compared to the other filters. Volatile filter and carbon dioxide filter is bad, but I'm not actively filtering carbon dioxide. But yeah, I noted I need more filters. Okay, gas mixing. Let's go ahead and not get a crazy amount of fuel for the thing. So all I want to do is mix a little bit of gas. Right? That's a little bit of fuel. It's roughly at the right ratios because they're both roughly the same temperature, 65 and 60. So it's not so wildly off that it won't combust. And then grab my welder and refuel the thing. And with the pressure regulator, what it should do is it should pull all of the volume. I wanted to measure it, but it's going to pull all the volume and stick it into this thing. So there we go. We are pressurizing our fuel can, and our fuel can is just about the perfect ratio, right? 2/3 vols, 1/3 aux. Thing gonna go boom. X-Ray, thank you for the resub. And while that is doing that, I'll re-potato. I should just grab my labeler. What am I doing with my life? I might have mixed too much gas. I can always just use whatever gas I don't end up sticking to the fuel can and combust it into water. So I'll probably end up doing that. So, let's say that's good enough. There will be some uncaptured gas that's stuck in this one pipe, but like that's kind of unavoidable and whatever. So we have 4 moles. Oh no. 4 moles of gas that didn't go through the thing. And if I want, I can just turn the rest into water. So now it's going to pull the rest of the volatiles and oxygen and turn it into water. So I'll run a small batch of water for the unremained combusted fuel. All right, I don't have materials. So as much as I would like to continue what I was working on, we are essentially out of iron entirely. So let's weld the few frames I intended to weld with our freshly refilled welder, and then grab some iron and so I can make iron kit walls and sheets to weld frames shut. And hopefully before the next storm, but I don't have a storm warning system, so I have no idea if that's going to be true or not. So, the current priority is enclose the solar panels. And I'll need, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus a sheet per panel. So 6, but the bottom won't need a wall. So 5 times 8 of wall kits minus 5 because I have 5 already. I think, if my math is reasonable. So 35 wall kits, 35 glass sheets. Oh, no, probably 40 glass sheets and 40 iron sheets. That is the total cost of this project. So the first one right here, I might as well just do it now. And I'm going to put the windows on the inside rather than the outside. So that's what it's going to look like. And it really doesn't lose a lot of efficiency. It's not a big deal. It's not going to be a big hit. I mean, look at the amount of power I'm storing. I have more power stored in these batteries now, more than twice than I ever did before. So, you know, in the big scheme of things, it is not crippling to window up your panels. And if you don't like windowing up your panels, you can of course just use heavy solars. I just don't. This tank is getting a little pressurized. I might need to keep an eye on that. I might need to increase the time in which I outgas. I'll have to keep an eye. Will it be enclosed in the bottom? Yes. So I'll be welding a sheet on the bottom, an iron sheet on the bottom of all 8, and then windowing the top with 5 windows. So the welded bottom and the 5 windows will have it be enclosed. It doesn't matter when I enclose it. Midday, at night, basically whatever gas is captured in there is going to be the temperature those panels are at, as long as it's not storm. And because I'm not on Venus, the temperature differential is not a big deal. I'm going to want 35 of these wall kits. I'm also going to have you guys vote on next project while I'm doing this current one. So, here it is. I added one new one, which is add a wind turbine for storm power generation. The reason for that is during storms, obviously the solar panels are not going to generate power, and that can be in the middle of the day. So I can make up with that for that by generating a crap ton of power via wind during the storms. So I would only really want one wind turbine. Any more would be like overkill. Oh, one more. And in terms of sheets, I think I'm going to need 48 iron sheets, if my math is right. 6 times 8. I can just do a 50 print or something like that. Base temperature really hasn't dropped much because I've introduced more heat into the base. So we're normalizing our CO2, we're normalizing our oxygen, we're normalizing our volatiles. I don't have a lot of volatiles left, so I might want to and the fuel that we didn't add, we turned into about 1 liter of water. If you were wondering, which I'll flush into the system. There we go. So we have 8 liters of water spare now, plus whatever's in the hydro basins. And then I'm going to need 40 glass, which I have only enough for 20. So I'm going to need 39 more grams of silicon to finish this project. Do you need another cooler for the base? No. It'll eventually catch up. It just got real hot because I introduced a whole lot of heat generators that eventually will cool down and not be a problem. But even if I did, it would be voted on. I'm not going to lift a finger working on a project that ain't voted on it, unless it's some sort of emergency. Oh yes, the joys of hitbox hell. Alright, so this is waiting on glass sheets. And I might as well weld up the bottoms now too. Oh, that's steel. Okay. That's also steel. I need to print up a few steel sheets for this. You want to be timed out? Turtle? Yeah, that's all the silicon I need. Obviously, I'm going to want a lot more eventually. But this is all the project calls for. And we're getting close to being done with the windows. I think what I'll do is, I'm going to fully glass them up at night for no particularly good reason, other than I want to know that they're, like, chilling in there. So I'll leave the tops off. Again, for no reason. Just, like, because I want to. I also didn't grab my steel. I should have. Ugh. Oh my god, game. There we go. And this will keep the storms from obliterating my panels and either destroying them fully or dramatically reducing their efficiency. So I don't have to worry about them. And repair them and every time there's a storm. Definitely a nice thing to do, I would say. So I already have one steel sheet in my storage, so I just need to print up one more steel sheet. That's how close I was to being done. Won't they heat it up? Yeah, they will absorb some solar heat in there, but like not to the point where they're going to destroy. Solar panels aren't that temperature sensitive. So yes, enclosing them will heat them. And if you really worry about that, you can just like throw in a passive vent and like 2 passive vents and a pipe or something like that. That might even keep the... because that will allow heat exchange, but not storm damage. I'm obviously not going to go that far. Because I really don't think they're ever going to get damaged. I've never seen it happen, I'll put it that way. Come on, hitbox. Why must you plague me? And if you're wondering, I'll check the power generation of all the panels, like, once this project's done. So you can you know, see the difference. Does this just need glass up here? I'm pretty sure this doesn't have its iron. Do I not even have a... I have a window here. Oh yeah, there's the hitbox. Come on. Good lord. Oops. Put the top one on. I'll leave this side. I'm gonna pull the top off.
Waste tank critical. Temperature high. Temperature critical.
Oh.
Oxygen low. Oxygen critical. Hydration critical. Temperature high.
Let my waste tank get a little high. So I quickly swapped in my propellant tank, which had space, but that means that my waste tank is not going to be pure. Well, I can actually filter both into the... Well, here, let me do it this way. Empty my hands. Sorry, lungs. I took so good care of you for so long. Alright, so this
Waste tank critical.
tank here... Oh, yeah, that's fine. That can flush in. And then my propellant tank should be
Jetpack critical.
my waste tank, which can flush into. And then this tank here, because it really didn't get fully emptied, should not be swapped in for a propellant tank. I see. That filter died. Come on. It's fun. I can actually see the pressure and temperature of the farm from here. Because this is farm air through the passive vent, right? So it's like, oh, the farm is 25 Celsius and 106 kPa. I can tell from out here, no problem. Alright, my hydration is critical. And I think because I blew out my lungs, I am going to take the pill this time too. Because eventually I'll probably end up buying ferns. And, oh, I already had one. And then I'll just make more pills. Because ferns are how you make medical pills too. Fern, silver, and cobalt. I should probably hook up like some sort of flush on there because it's really not emptying this thing. Because what's that end up happening? Well, maybe I can have a valve here. So what's happening is it keeps pulling the air from the farm, so that this never really goes to 0 kPa. But if I had a valve, it could go to 0 kPa, and then that's sufficiently empty, so I can actually, you know, I'll fix that all later because I need to hydrate. How much longer will the potatoes last? It doesn't matter. I've got an infinite supply of potatoes. Lungs are fixed. And if I want to fix my lungs in the future, I'll either need a cryotube or I'll need a another medical pill. Would not let my waste tanks get that low. Honestly, I should just carry a spare with me. That would make the most sense. Because of how dangerous it is not to do it. Alright, so that got emptied out. That could be my spare waste tank, I guess. And then I can... Eventually, I'll put a valve in there. So that I can, empty out my waste tanks. But... that can wait. Farm is 21 Celsius. 104 kPa. Totally fine. Alright, let's go get the... silicon and print up the rest of the glass. Now that I'm not about to implode from suffocation or whatever. Also going to want 2 steel sheets, or 1 more steel sheet. Did I miscount? I feel like I miscounted. I feel like I needed 40, not 20. Well, we'll have to do that again. Let's at least get what we can get done. So panel number 1 is done except for the top, and I'll put the top on when it's cold out. Panel number 2, same deal. Panel number 3, you need walls. And for chat's reference, it's really difficult for me to focus on what I'm doing if I'm stuck answering questions that are not relevant to what I'm working on. So if you have questions about the game, keep them relevant to my project. Otherwise, it's like impossible for me to... It's too distracting otherwise for me to explain game mechanics that aren't relevant to what I'm doing. It's like trying to explain how to juggle while spinning plates. Just can't manage. Alright, so now that it is cold out, I'll slap the glass on the tops too. Because it's just about minimum temperature outside of ash storms. And then once we're done, I'll get a read of the power generation with all of the panels glass enclosed. Because if we need to, I don't think it's going to be necessary, but if we really drop efficiency too deeply, we could always add a 9th panel, right? Like, you can always just add more if you're worried about that. So the first 3 are done. They're enclosed. This one needs the steel welded at the bottom. And I obviously got half as much silicon as I needed, because, yeah, I'm out of windows too. Oh, good. That didn't take very long. Oh, maybe that wasn't silicon? I thought it was. Looks like gold. Guess it's both. And it should get an accurate count of like how many more windows I need. So I don't end up making more glass than is required. The silicon's also required for the next project, which you voted on as the oxygenated room. So this one is enclosed. 0 glass required. All sides? Yep. Same with this. Actually, maybe the easiest way to tell is to have a crowbar out, because then I'll have a hitbox for the windows. So I'm missing 1 glass there, 5 glass here, two glass there, Okay. Yeah, I need a lot more glass. I don't think there's going to be a way for me to print too much with the paltry amount of silicon I just shoved in. 1 plus 5 plus, and then I was like, okay, forget counting. I need more silicon than I need glass. How pressurized is my coolant tank, though? That was another worry that I had. It has climbed about 8 MPa per day. So maybe tomorrow I'm going... Well, I'll adjust the duration that it dumps. That's one thing I could do right now while I wait for the silicon to finish. So if I'm not mistaken, that is this value here. Yep. So, a little reminder. This correlates... where's my solar angle? Oh, that's weird. Oh, hold up. Yeah, I accidentally nuked something on my end. 1 second! I destroyed my own overlays. Oh, yeah. So what I was trying to show is the daylight sensor angles again, because I'm referencing it now, and I lost the image for that. There we go. So, at the moment, the outflow valve is only set 15 degrees off of 0. So there's a small window where it dumps. And I'll set it to like 20 and see if that changes. Because that will be a bit more time. So it's like, instead of 30 degrees of the day, it's now going to be at 40 degrees of the day. So it should dump, you know, more gas. And if that's not enough, if it still keeps climbing, then I'll do 25. I'll just keep tinkering with it until it's, you know, correct. So I'm going to make 20 more glass with this, ooh, and let me get rid of that now. 20 more glass with this silicon, and then I'll count up the windows. I don't have any more hidden silicon anywhere, right?
Waste tank critical. Oxygen low.
Oops, sorry, lungs. Really should be set to hot swap. You think one of my cables is right? I'll keep an eye on that in a moment. How is my total oxygen? 700 moles? 600 moles? Okay. So these three were done, and this is where we left off. And I'm no longer care if it's enclosed during the day or not. It makes no difference. I just want this project done so I can move on. Okay, that one's enclosed. This one needs iron. almost done. Just missing iron? No? Just can't find the hitbox? Oh, maybe it already has a window. It does. This one only needs the top. If the top would even... Come on, game! This was... I mean, it's... This is the annoying part of the paneling, is how finicky... And if I reverse the walls, it would be easier. The reason why I didn't do the reverse walls is if I reverse the walls, it covers the cables. So either it's annoying to put on the glass panels or annoying to maintain the cables, but given the cables are prone to burnout, I'd rather have it be annoying to panel up, because that's the lesser of two evils. Okay, I think we're done. I think I'll have 10 glass left over. And I believe we're all paneled up. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers Brutal Vulcan, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow engineers.